All right, guys. Today we're going to talk about writing and solving systems of equations from verbal descriptions. But we're not just going to talk about verbal descriptions, we're going to add in tables and then we're going to add in graphs. Okay, remember that the steps to solving real world problems is to first highlight the important information in a problem that will help you write the two equations. Then we're going to define our variables. Remember, the question helps you to define the variables. And then we're going to, after we define our variables, we're going to reread the problem and write the equations. The next thing we're going to do is it says use one of the methods. The only method we've talked about is graphing. So we're going to use graphing to solve the equation. All right. And then lastly, once we've solved it, we can answer the question. All right. So here we are with number 1. It says write a system of equations for each situation. And then we're going to answer the question. All right. So for number 1, it says 1 week, Beth bought 3 apples and 8 pears for $14.50. The next week, she bought 6 apples and 4 pears and paid $14. How much does each fruit cost? Okay, we've read the problem. Now we're going to highlight some key information here. All right, first thing we're going to do is to highlight that she did 3 apples, 8 pears, right? And it cost $14.50. All right, next we're going to note that the next week she bought 6 apples and 4 pears and it cost $14. All right, this is important information. We look to the question where it says, how much does each fruit cost? So we already know that the 2 fruits that she bought was apples and pears. So let's let X equals apples. All right. And let's let Y equal pears. All right. And then from here, we're going to go back and read the problem and write our equation. It says 1 week Beth bought 3 apples. So that means we said apples was X, right? So that's going to be her cost equals 3 apples. So that's, I didn't mean to do that. My apologies there, guys. I didn't mean to do that. The Y equals. All right. Start again, rewind. All right. So 1 week Beth bought, so this is really week 1. All right. Okay. Right. All right. She bought 3 apples, so that's 3X. And in math is plus, so that's plus 8 pears. Pears is Y, so that's going to be 8Y. And now her total cost was $14.50. We got our first equation, and it represents week 1. All right. Now, the second equation is going to be for week 2. And it says she bought 6 apples. So that's 6X and plus 4 pears. So that's 4Y equals $14. Okay. And now we're going to go to our Desmos calculators right here on the right. And we're going to plug in our equations, starting with 3X plus 8Y equals $14.50. All right. Now we're going to do our second equation, 6X plus 4Y equals 14. All right. Now, we may want to zoom in a little bit. We may not. It's okay. Whatever we choose. But what we need to do is now tap our hand right here, finger right here to see that point of intersection. And it looks like each fruit cost what? Well, we have a solution here so let's write the solution. Let me not jump ahead of myself. All right. So we have the point 1.5, comma, 1.25. Okay. So that's our X and Y. Okay. So what does that mean? Now we can answer the question now that we have our solution. This means that apples cost $1.50. Pears cost $1.25. And this each. We got our answer, guys. And we're done with this problem. So with having done this problem, now what I want you guys to do is number 2. So feel free now to pause the video and complete number 2. You have about, let's say 5 minutes. Okay, so we're back. It says Brian bought beverages for his coworkers. One day, he bought 3 lemonades and 4 iced teas for $12. The next day, he bought 5 lemonades and 2 iced teas for $11.50. How much does each drink cost? All right, so what we're going to do here is underline our key information. So we have 3 lemonades and 4 iced teas that cost $12. That's one thing. And then we have 5 lemonades and 2 iced teas that cost $11.50. Okay. So from here, then it asks, how much does each drink cost? All right, so we have that information, we highlighted it, and now that question is going to help us define our variables. So let's let X be the first type of drink, which is lemonade. And maybe we should actually say the cost of lemonade. All right, and Y is going to be the cost of iced tea. All right, so now that we have that, we defined our variables. Now we're going to actually write our equations. And particularly, we're going to look at what we have underlined in, for instance, yellow. 3 lemonades and 4 iced teas is $12. So we're going to write 3 lemonades, so that's 3x, and, which is plus, 4 iced teas, which is $12. So 3x plus 4y equals 12. And we can read that as 3 lemonades and 4 iced teas is $12. All right. And the next one says 5 lemonades and 2 iced teas for $11.50. So we're going to say 5x plus 2y equals $11.50. And hopefully that's what we have here. All right. So now that we have these two equations, we're going to solve. All right. And we're going to go into Desmos. You guys may have already done this. And if so, we're just checking now to make sure what you said is right. So you're going to self-check. All right. We have these equations in here and we see the point of intersection. So we're just going to tap on that. And it looks like we're going to do just a tad bit of rounding here. And that's okay. It looks like our solution is 1.57, comma, 1.82. So, in plain terms, lemonade costs $1.57 and tea cost $1.82. All right, we're done with it. Okay. Not quite. quite. All right, so now we're going to get to this table. It says 2 campgrounds rent a campsite for 1 night according to the following table. All right, so we have the number of campers 1 to 4. We have Alief Campground and we have Katy Campground. All right, so when we look here, Alief Campground is $58, right? For 1 camper. $40 for 1 camper is in Katy. All right, and we can just read. I'm not going to continue to read this table, but what we want to do is for each campground, we want to create an equation. That's why it says write the equation for the rate charged by Alief Campground, and then write the equation for the rate charged by Katy Campground. All right, and so what we're going to do here is we're going to use this Desmos calculator to our advantage. I am going to slide this over so that I can see a bit more, because I need to click the plus sign right up here in Desmos, and I'm going to tap table. All right, and the first table I'm going to make 2, one for Alief and one for Katy. All right, and we may not remember these steps. That's why I'm going to review it. All right, in X1, we're going to put in our number of campers, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then in Y1, we're going to put the cost, all right, for each type of camper in Alief. So that's going to be 58, 66, 74, 82. All right, and that's going to be that. Didn't mean to put 5 there. All right, now that we have this in here, we're going to go to our line 2, and we're going to write our formula to tell the calculator to give us an equation. So we write y sub 1, right? And where's my squiggly? There it is. All right, squiggly mx sub 1 plus b. All right, and it's giving me an equation. It's telling me that my m, meaning slope, is 8, and my b, which is y-intercept, is 50. So when we come over here, what we're going to write is y equals (8x plus 50). All right, and what that means is just the basic rate is $50. You got to pay $50 up top, and for each camper you're going to pay $8 more for each, basically $8 per camper. All right, now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to now do it for Katy. All right, we're going to do it for Katy. So remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, don't need 5. And we're going to type in the cost for each camper: 40, 50, 60, 70. All right, cool beans. Now we're going to come here and tell the calculator that we want it to create an equation for us. So y sub 1 squiggly mx sub 1 plus b. All right, this tells us that our slope is 10 and our y-intercept is 30. So our equation is y equals 10x plus 30. So the basic fee is a little bit lower, $30, but for each camper it costs a little bit more, $10 per camper. All right, so now we write our system, which is y equals 8x plus 50, y equals 10x plus 30. And we can take it a step further to figure out the point of intersection. All right, there's a certain number of campers where the cost would be the same. All right, and to figure that out, we could just come here to our calculator